Journaling for me is one of those things that if you had have asked me a year ago, I would have said there's absolutely no chance I would ever use a journal. Being able to sit down and dump has been able to like clear my mind a lot, which I don't think I found any other method. This is a good one because you can keep it kind of anonymous. I just thought one day, I was like, well, kind of feel like ass. What should I do? And I thought, well, would I rather speak to someone? No, I could speak to myself. So I thought, fuck it, why don't I just write it down? And my journal is like my mind, the way I talk, it's just word vomit. Just basically I pick up the pen and I don't stop writing until I feel content. And sometimes that's 1 page, sometimes that's 5 pages. And I just write and I write and I write. And it'll go from idea to idea. I'll be like, I'm just like a little crazy kid, like running off the walls. And if you were to try and read it yourself, you wouldn't have any idea what's going on. But for me, that's how my mind works. The one thing in life that makes me so uncomfortable is ever expressing how I feel. So like my communication in that regard can be pretty poor. Even being in touch with my emotions has been pretty bad. As I've gotten older and as my life's gotten at times a little more difficult, realize that's not the best coping mechanism. Oh yeah, you're such a tough guy, you've never spoken about your emotions, but you also aren't capable of really truly understanding yourself unless you're able to reflect and spend some time sort of understanding why you think the way you think, why you feel the way you feel, and what it means to you. This won't just be, oh man, I'm not feeling good today. It's something that I've been taking the time to do, is also just like some gratitude work. So I got all this from Tim Ferriss, the guy that wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. And this is just like his 5-minute gratitude journal. Like the title suggests, it takes 5 minutes. You don't have to sit there going 100 things you're grateful for. But over the year, you'll be able to flick through and go, shit, there's a lot of good in my life. In the morning, you write a couple of things you're grateful for. You also write what would make the day great. And this sort of activity just gets you thinking, like, how many times in a year do you reckon you genuinely sit down and think, I'm so lucky for this, or I'm so happy I have this? You just don't. You don't ever think about the things in your life that are great. It's very easy to focus on all the negative things. And sometimes you just need to take some time out and realize that it's not all doom and gloom. You do have some great things out there. And another aspect of the thinking about what would make this day great, sort of, it's a really eye-opening one, because you just like sit there and you think, well, what would be my ideal day? And how many days in a year do you think you have where you're like, yeah, that was fucking sick? I'm hoping to have more and more of those. And by writing down what's gonna make that day better, makes it a little easier to try and achieve. Once the day is finished, when you get home at night, before you go to bed, you just write 3 great things that happened that day. You know, you might be sitting there going, nah, today was pretty average. But then you think, you know what? I actually had a really good workout. And I was able to spend time with people I care about. And you realize that it's actually a good day. It goes from being a 5 or a 6 out of 10 to perhaps a 7 or an 8. And then a little bit more of an introspective one is, how could you have improved that day? And then you get to sort of reflect on the things in your life that you're doing that aren't exactly where you want them to be. And then you can sort of just improve. I think it's been a really big piece of my personal development. And if my shit analogies or my little pitch that I've given you helps, and you can implement this in your life, I think you get some benefit out of it.